Hi, everyone. It's Alex with Coppermine, and I'm here with Coach K. Coach K, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. How are you?
Good. Last week we talked to Coach K, and we had learned about his experience with videography, and we touched about him potentially starting a videography company. And a few conversations I've had with him in the past, I've learned that Coach K also has started a sports or soccer sports performance training company where he trains additional kids to learn how to play soccer and those sort of things. So he's got some experience with a small business, so to speak. He hasn't really scaled it yet. And we're here talking about what the potential is and with what path he can go down to really scale up whatever business he wants to do. Coach K, I know that you have some experience with videography. I mean, just give us briefly what experience that is.
Yeah, so I actually went to school. I went to college for graphic design and photography. Somewhere along the lines, I used my DSLR camera to get into videography, and I immediately fell in love with it. That was about 2012. Fast forward to here, where I actually unfortunately haven't used much of my camera up until COVID-19 happened, and that's where we are today.
Yeah. And I think that's important because life throws us different curveballs, and it's interesting how it works. You've got an opportunity now, and every time that I'm looking at a business or evaluating an opportunity, I'm figuring out what is the potential. And maybe 3 years ago, if you picked out your camera, it may or may not have been the right time. And I think right now, with everything that's happening, at Coppermine, and we're one of 10,000, 100,000 businesses that could utilize your services from a videography standpoint. That's a huge market. And there's huge opportunities, I think, for you to say, you know what, this is something that I want to build upon. And that's why I was so excited last week when you're like, hey, this potentially has legs. This is where my juices start flowing. And I figure, gosh, I want to get my hands dirty. I want to figure out how to start this company. And what my job is, or my goal every time I look at a company is I start at the very end. What's the end result, and I'm going to work backwards and do these steps. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, is some of those little steps to help you create this company with the goal of it expanding and growing and having employees and that sort of thing. So Coach K, you've got two options. You've got something you've started in the past. You've got your soccer, which you're continuing to do, and you have another new opportunity that's kind of presenting itself. And I think has some legs to it, is the videography. I mean, what path, if you have the option to go down one of the paths, what path do you think you should look at right now if we're going to start a company for you?
Right now, I know that soccer will always be around, and I know that we're experiencing this COVID pandemic right now. But going forward, I'd like to see myself really expand my videography horizon once again. I think that as far as me wanting to settle down and have a family in the future, I think that going into the videography route would actually really open up a lot of doors for me in the future.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think most companies, most small businesses, they're going to have to figure out how can they bring content or their services directly to the home of people. And I think it's a smart idea. I think when you're looking at a business or an opportunity, you want to see how large the market is. What is my cap that I can reach? And like you said, soccer, there are a zillion kids that play soccer, but how many people can you access one at a time? Or you and your friend that are doing it together, how many can you access one at a time? But videography, you might be able to hit a larger market and scale that up a little bit quicker. No path is incorrect. It's really what your passion is. And if your passion lies in videography, then you should follow that path. And it might be crossing over where it's videography of soccer. So you have two passions that you're kind of doing together. And I think that's important for people at home to understand, what do I love to do? What is something that makes me want to get up every day and follow that dream? I think people kind of get hung up, where's the money? Where's the money? And that really isn't the first and foremost. The first and foremost, it's like we said, it starts with you. What is inside you? What makes you tick? What is going to make you excited to select that path to make sure that your career choice or your endeavor is something that you look forward to every single day. The first thing that I have ever learned when I ever starting a company is sacrifice. And we live in a society that's on demand. It's Netflix, it's Amazon delivering to you next day, maybe even that day. So our world is really, it's gimme, gimme, gimme. I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. But Coach K, one of the things I'm going to tell you, and one of the things I want to tell, our students that going forward is you have to be prepared when you start a company. There's bumps, there's bruises, there's time lags, those sort of things. So my question to you, are you prepared to have sacrifice? Meaning if I start a company today, I might not see the reward, meaning billing a client or getting paid for 6 months. Does that affect you, or does that worry you at all?
No, it actually doesn't worry me at all. I'm at that point in my life where I've been looking to start a family in the near future, and knowing that sacrifice, knowing that I'd have to sacrifice this time now to get to that point is something that I've definitely thought about and something that I'm very much prepared for going forward.
Yeah. And it's a good point having you said prepared, and that's another step that we have to look at as far as preparing our family, our friends, our relatives, our loved ones. It's, if you really want to do this, Coach K, you got to tell everybody, hey, I'm starting a company. I'm not going to be around on weekends. I'm going to be researching at night and that sort of thing. So let everybody know, hey, today is the day I'm starting a company. I'm going to start, and we'll go into the name and we're going to call it, but let's just say it's Coach K Productions. Hey, tell your friends, hey, I'm starting a company today. I can't go out on Friday nights, or I'm not going to be able to do some of these things on the weekends. At home, hey, I'm going to dedicate from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I'm going to be doing research. That's cool. People have to understand that you are on a path to success. The next thing is, that I want to talk about is success. We all look at successful people. We try to emulate them, but every person has the opportunity to be successful. It's a choice. They have that choice to be successful. And I think being able to tell yourself, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to do these things, these are the steps I'm going to take to be the person that I want to be, or the entrepreneur I want to be. Is that something that you are prepared to do going forward?
Absolutely. And I can't wait for it. Actually, you guys, you especially Alex, have been really pumping a lot of great ideas into my head, and giving me that opportunity to say, like, hey, look, I could probably do this too. And I'm excited for it, to be honest.
I might ask you to do like little cheesy note cards on your car and on your mirror that says, I am successful. I'm going to be a success. And those are things that you have to figure out, because you have to train your brain to think differently. You have to tell yourself that I am going to do great things. And it starts with you. The next thing that I think is important for everybody to do is going to be, short-term goals. And when we start this process, Coach K, and everybody at home, I think it's important for everybody to understand, I'm not starting $1 million company. I'm not starting a $100,000 company. I mean, everybody will get there in time. But what is the goal? Is the goal to do $500 in revenue a month? Is it 1,000? Is it 10,000? It's all incremental, and there's no wrong answer. So goal setting is really important. Some people might say, I want to cover my rent, I want to cover my car payment, and I want to pay for my cell phone. So I need to make $1,000 a month. Some people might say, you know what, I want to leave my job and I want to go into this next career, but I'm going to stay in my job for 6 months until I have this up and running, and then go into the career path or the profession or the entrepreneurial idea that I have and I want to pursue. So my question to you, have you ever written goals before, Coach K?
I have, but I wouldn't say that the goals were set to the extent of trying to change my life for the better. I think it was just goals that I just jotted down to accomplish a simple goal. But as far as setting a goal for my personal life, I haven't really sat down and taken the time to do that. So that's something I may have to do in the future.
Well, I'm going to give you some homework, because that's part of the homework. So one of the things I want you to do is going to be to create basically 3 and 6 month goals from a personal level, and then from a business level, from what you could potentially do with your Coach K Productions company. So you have that goal set, Mike, because what we want to do is we want to take those goals, and then I'll be able to work backwards with you and say, okay, if this is your 6 month goal, this is a timeline it's going to be to create what you need to do to get to that 6 month end result. The other thing is going to be sacrifice. Your homework right now, you're going to sacrifice some time, and I would love for you to come back to me with some ideas on what your company potentially might look like. How are you going to sell it? How are you going to package it up? What are people pricing their similar products or services for? So those are the things that we need to look at together to help you kind of create and formulate what your idea is going to potentially be. again, I love this stuff. This stuff really gets me jazzed up. I think this is like a pianist looking at a piano, or a mechanic looking at a car. Like, I love looking at a potential business in a way that, okay, how can we construct this thing that is going to be successful for the right person, that's going to give them longevity and financial security. And also, we talked about the hope. Like, this is something that hopefully you are going to have this hope going forward to create success in the future. All right, Coach K, you've got your homework assignment. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get started with Coach K Productions.
Yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity. Yeah, let's get it rolling.
Let's see where it takes us. Can't wait.
Absolutely.
All right, talk to you soon.